Hello friends, my name is Sheila. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a knitting tutorial for the Bear Cub Knit Hat, the newborn size. So if you want to find the other sizes, it is available on my blog and the link is on the description below. So to begin, we are casting on 32 stitches. And here I'm gonna wrap my yarn around my needle 10 times. And then get that length times 3 since we need 30. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more slack on this part since we need 32 and then tie my slip knot. So this is going to be our first cast on stitch and this is how I cast on. Alright, so now we have our 32 stitches and we are going to join our stitches in the round. And before we do that, make sure that you are not twisting your stitches, that they're all aligned. And so we take that first stitch and then we do our knit stitch. This will be the brim of our hat. So we will be doing a pattern of knit 1, purl 1 rib for the brim of our hat, and we will repeat this for 3 rounds. And that completes our brim. So moving along, let's set aside our stitch marker and we are going to switch our needles to the larger US 15 or 10 millimeter circular knitting needles. So we are doing stockinette rounds for the next few rounds. So mainly just all knit stitches for now. So we're going to knit our stitches onto the larger needles. And we are doing that for 7 rounds. And this completes our 7 rounds of all stockinette or all knit stitches. So for round 11, we are going to start our decrease for our hat. We are going to knit the first 7 stitches. And then for the next, we are going to knit 2 stitches together. And then knit 14. And then we're going to knit 2 stitches together again. And then knit the last 7 stitches. So at the end of this round, we are going to end up with 30 stitches. Next up, for rounds 12 and 13, we are going to knit all the stitches. So this is 2 rounds of just knit stitches. Now round 14, we're going to do another decrease, and we are going to knit the first 13 stitches. And then we are going to knit 2 stitches together after that. And we will repeat that pattern once more. Knit 13, knit 2 stitches together. Yep, so knit these last 2 stitches together. All right, and that leaves us with 28 stitches. For round 15, we are just going to knit all stitches. Now for round 16, we are going to start our crown, and we are rapidly decreasing our stitches, our number of stitches. So for this round, we are going to knit 5, and then knit 2 stitches together. And that will be our sequence. We are going to repeat that 3 more times until the end of round. And at the end of the round, this will give us 24 stitches left. So now you can see that our hat is beginning to take shape. Next is round 17, and we are going to continue with our decrease for our crown. So this time we are going to knit 4 stitches, and then knit 2 stitches together. And that will be our pattern for this round. We are going to repeat that 3 more times, and we will end up with 20 stitches at the end of this round. So round 18, we will knit 3 stitches and then do our knit 2 stitches together, decrease, knit 3, and then knit 2 stitches together. And that's our pattern for the round. We'll do that 4 times total. And this will leave us with 16 stitches for this round. For our final round, we are going to knit 2 stitches together all throughout the round. So we are going to reduce our number of stitches from 16 to 8. Knit 2 stitches together at the end until the end of round. So as you can see, we have 8 stitches left. So we are now going to proceed with our ears. I personally use the US 11 or 8mm circular knitting needles for the ears, but since we are already using two sizes of needles in this tutorial, we'll use the US 13 or the 9mm for this example. So in knitting the ears, I like working on both ears simultaneously. So we are going to grab both ends of our yarn, the two tails, and we are going to cast on 8 stitches. So wrapping that yarn around 8 times. And you can be generous for this part since we're going to need the tail ends to sew our ears onto the hat. So you can give it a little bit more slack. So I'm going to put my slip knots on both tails and put them onto the needle. So that would count as my first cast on. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now I am going to insert that other knot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now we are turning our work and working on the wrong side. We're going to knit the first 2 stitches and then purl the next 4 stitches. And then knit the last 2. All right. So I did the other ear earlier. So now we're turning again, and we are now working on the right side. And we're just going to knit all the 8 stitches for both ears. So once you've done that on the other ear as well, we are going to turn our work again, and we are now facing the wrong side. We're going to repeat row 1 for the ears, which is knit 2 stitches, purl 4, and then knit the last 2 stitches. And the same goes for the other ear. Okay, so turning our work again, we are now facing the right side, and we are going to make increases to this row. So let's knit 3 stitches and then make one R or make one right. So insert your needle coming from the back to the front through that bar, and then we are going to knit that stitch, and that gives us a make one right stitch. Now let's knit the next 2 stitches, and we'll do a make one left. So this time coming from the front to the back, we're going to knit that stitch through the back loop. and that will give us a make one left. And now we just knit the last 3 stitches. We're going to do the same thing with the other ear. And at the end of this row, you will have 10 stitches for each ear. Okay, turning them around. We're now again working on the wrong side. We're going to knit the first 2 stitches and then purl 6, and then knit the last 2 stitches. We're going to repeat that with the other ear. Alright, so once again, we're turning them over, and we are now again working on the right side. We're going to make another set of increases. So we're going to knit 4, again make 1 right, so coming from the back, going to make 1 stitch. And there is that. Knit 2 and then make 1 left, and then knit the last 4. We're going to do that again on the other ear. So for this wrong side, we are going to do a slip slip knit, and then we are going to purl until the last 2 stitches. So that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then for the last 2, we knit them together. And that gives us 10 stitches again. So for the other ear, let's do that again. So we're going to keep on going with our pattern. But since we're working on the right side, we are going to knit instead of purl. So we're going to slip, slip, knit, and then knit 6 stitches in between the decreases, and then knit the 2 last stitches together. And we are just going to continue that process until we end up with 2 stitches left, and we are going to end up on the wrong side. Okay, so for our last decrease, we are now on the wrong side, and we're just going to do a slip, slip, knit, and then a K2 stitches together or K2 tug, and repeat that for the other ear. So that leaves us with just 2 stitches left for each ear. All right, so now you have 2 stitches left for each ear. We're going to cut off our yarn, and we'll give it a bit of a margin here so we can sew the ears onto our hat. So since you have the cast on tail on the left side, you will need to bring this yarn tail to the right side, however you want it, but I just want to thread through those 2 stitches and then tighten them up as much as you can. Sometimes I need to adjust these little things. And once you're happy with the shape of it, what I do is I try to hide the yarn alongside the edge of the ears until I reach the slip knot that we made earlier. So there I just do it a little bit of shaping, and then it will be ready to be put onto our hat. So in positioning your ears, for me, I try to find the line, which is this line here, and I use that as a guide for my ears. So I usually sew the ears on the back of that line, behind that line, just to keep it straight and uniform, this line here, uniform to the hat. And I usually take a stitch or two from the ear and then go back to the hat, pick up a stitch or two, and then go back to the ear, and then to the hat again. And it's the best way that I find to sew your ears on, but of course, if you know another trick, you can certainly use that trick. And then I just thread the other tail onto the needle. And then insert it through. And just secure it with the other yarn tail. So I find this other ear easier to sew on. So from the center, if you've gone down 2 stitches, from the center, just count 2 stitches again on the other side, and again behind that line. So that way your ears will be aligned somewhat. And then same process, I just pick up a stitch or two from the hat to the ear, to the hat again, and back until I'm finished with the whole bottom edge of the ear. And there you have it, your very own Bear Cub Knit Hat. And I hope that you enjoy making this pattern for your loved ones, or if you want to sell them in markets, they are perfect. And they are one of my best sellers. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for being here and happy knitting. Bye.